Good day, everyone. So we are now on week 5. Our topic for this week is operation of rational numbers. First, let us discuss what is rational numbers, or let us first define what is rational numbers. Rational numbers are the numbers that can be expressed as a over b, or fraction. Now, integers and non-integers. Okay, so integers can be expressed as fraction. For example, -5, that can be written as -5/1. Non-integers, we have fraction, definitely. Decimals, not all decimals can be transformed into fraction. Only terminating and non-terminating but repeating decimals. The decimals that cannot be transformed into fraction is non-terminating and non-repeating decimals. That is called irrational numbers. Now, let us discuss our topic for this week, operation of rational numbers. We will first discuss the operation of fraction. Okay, so you will learn how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions. Now, let us have this review. How to simplify fraction or write fraction in lowest term. For example, 4/6. 4 and 6 have common factor, which is 2. So we can divide 4 and 6 by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that is to the right. Okay. Now we have 12/9. Is it 6/3 or 4/3? So let's see. What is the common factor of 12 and 9? Okay, so that is 3. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, 9 divided by 3 is 3. So that is 4/3. So 12/9 is 4/3. What about 8/24? Is it 7/8 or 1/3? Okay, so that is 1/3. They are both divisible by 8. So what about 27/30? Is it 1/4 or 9/10? They are both divisible by 3. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 30 divided by 3 is 10. Okay, so I hope you have recalled how to write the fraction in its simplest form. Okay, so let us discuss our topic. Let's move first to multiplication. Okay. Okay. So, multiplication and division of fraction. Okay. So, if you will notice, our given have signs, negative signs. Okay. So, for example, we have -3/5 multiplied to 7/8. So, to multiply fractions, simply multiply the numerators and the denominators. Okay. So, let us multiply the numerators. -3 times 7 all over 5 times 8. Okay. So, that will become -21/40. Now, is it in its simplest form, or is this the final answer? Okay, since there is no common factor, since 21 and 40 have no common factor, so that is your final answer. Now, before we proceed to the next example, let me discuss the correct way of writing negative fraction. Halimbawa, -3/5. that is also equal to negative 3 over 5, and that is equal to 3 over negative 5. Okay? Ito yung nakagitna yung negative sign, ito nasa taas, ito nasa baba. So, tama naman siya lahat. Okay? Tama siya lahat, but the proper way of writing fraction, or the standard way, the standard form of writing negative fraction is this one. Naka-align siya sa fraction bar. Okay? Okay, pwede rin naman ito. But most proper way to write negative fraction is this, where the negative sign is aligned with our fraction bar. Okay? So, ito, pwede rin ito. Okay? Okay, this is not the proper way of writing negative fraction. Okay? But they are all the same number. Remember that when we divide the negative and positive number, the answer is negative. Positive and negative, the answer is negative. So they are all the same. But the proper way is either of these two. Most proper is negative 3 cubes. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now let us discuss example number 2. Example number 2, we have negative 4 over 5 times negative 5 over 6. Okay. So we have here, you can multiply the numerators, negative 4 times negative 5. Negative 4 times negative 5 all over the denominator 5 times 6. Okay, so that will become negative 4 times negative 5, so that is positive 20 all over 30. So that is both divisible by 10. So that is 2 over 3. Okay, so here is the another solution. Another solution is that you may now you may determine the sign of the product. Since we are multiplying numbers with the same sign, then the product is positive. So, yun, positive na yun. Now, we have 4 times 5 all over 6 times 5. Pwede ba to? Yes. 5 times 6 is equal to 6 times 5 by commutative property. Okay? Then 5 divided by itself is 1. Okay? So that is 1. So we have 4 over 6. Okay, 4 over 6. Yan. Kasi 4 times 1 by identity property, that is 4. So that is 6 times 1, 6. So let us now simplify this. So we have here 2. That is 2 over 3. Still, the answer is 2/3. Okay, another solution. We can simplify this by, again, cancellation. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Ayan. 2 times 1 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. So, it's it. Okay. Next example, we have negative 8 divided by, this time is division. Okay, so to divide fraction, first get the reciprocal of the second fraction, then multiply it to the first fraction. Okay, so let us get the reciprocal of 2/3, and that is 3/2. Then multiply it to the first fraction. Do you agree that this is a fraction. So this is a whole number which can be written as fraction. And 8/1. Now we can multiply the numerators. Negative 24 all over 2. So the numerator is exactly divisible by 2 or by the denominator. So then divide. So that is negative 12. Remember, when we divide negative by positive, the answer is negative. Another solution by cancellation method, we have negative 8 times 3 all over 2. Okay, 1 times 2 is 2. Remember that 8 over 2 is 4. Okay, so that is negative 4. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Okay, so either of the two solution is correct. Next, we have negative 5 over 8 divided by negative 7 over 8. First, get the reciprocal of the second fraction. 8 over 7, negative. Multiply it to negative 5 over 8. Okay. So, negative times negative is positive. So, okay na yun. So, let us multiply 5 and 8 and 7 and 8. Pwede yun by commutative property. So, we can cancel this. So, the answer is 5 over 7. Now, let us have 7 over 10 divided by 1 and 3/2. First, make this fraction, improper fraction. So that is 1 and 3/2. That is 2 times 1 plus 3. Okay, 2 times 1 plus 3 will become the numerator. So that is 5. The denominator will be 2, which is the denominator of the fraction part of the mixed number. Okay? So that is 5 over 2. So yun muna. Gawin nyo muna fraction C mixed number. Then, we will get the reciprocal of 5/2. That is 2 over 5. Multiply it to 7 over 10. Okay? Then we have 7 times 2. Since 2 is even, tapat natin 10 sa kanya. Okay? So, okay lang yan. Commutative yan. So, 2 over 10 is 1/5. Okay? So, that is 7 times 1, 5 times 5. So, final na ba to? Yes. Okay, so that is how to multiply fractions. Okay? And divide. Now, let us move to, okay, all answer must be in its simplest form and all the rules on operation of integers must be applied to the operation of fractions. Okay. Now, let us have addition and subtraction of similar fractions. When we say similar fraction, they have the same denominators just like our examples. So, for number 1, the common denominator is 8. So, all we have to do is to get the common denominator, which is 8, and then add the numerators. Okay. So, that is 1 plus 5 is 6 over 8. So, is this the final answer? Not yet, because they are both divisible by 2. So, the answer is 3 over 4. So, that is now the final answer. For number 2, we have negative 4/5 plus 6/5. So, copy the common denominator, then add the numerators. Remember, we have to apply the rules of adding integers here. Unlike signs, subtract their absolute values, then get the sign of the bigger absolute value, then 5. So that is 2 over 5. Final answer. Now, let us have number 3. Okay, so we have negative 7 over 10 plus negative 9 over 10. So, get your common denominator, then add their numerators. Okay, remember when adding integers having the same sign, add their absolute values, then prefix their common sign over 10. So not yet the final answer since they are both even, so they can be divided by 2. So that is negative 8 over 5. Is this now the final answer? Yes, so that is negative 8 over 5. Now next, negative 5 over 8 minus 7 over 8. So again, the common denominator is 8. Subtract their numerators. Okay, to subtract, we copy the minuend minus to plus, change the sign of the subtrahend all over 8. So adding two negative integers, add their absolute values. 5 plus 7 is 12. Get their common sign all over 8. So is this the final? No, pareho pa rin even yan. Divisible by 2 and divisible by 4. So mas maganda na sa greatest common factor mo siya i-divide. So para mas mapadali. 12 divided by 4, negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3 halves. So the answer is negative 3 over 2. Okay, ganun lang din sa number 5. First, we have to change 1 and 1/9 to fraction. So that is 9 times 1 plus 1. So that is 10 over 9. So 7 over 9 minus 10 over 9. So that is 9. Then subtract the numerators. That will become negative 3 over 9. So that can be simplified by dividing the numerator and denominator by 3. So negative 1/3. Okay, that's it. So let us now have again, to add and subtract fractions with the same denominator, simply add or subtract the numerators, then the denominators remains the same. Okay, all the rules on the operation on integers must be applied to the operation of fractions. Now let us have addition and subtraction of dissimilar fractions. To add or subtract fractions with different denominators, first make the denominators the same. This requires looking for the LCD. Then add or subtract the numerators. For example, 1/8 and okay, let us have the LCD or determining the LCD first. For example, the LCD of 8 and 4. Remember, LCD is the same as LCM. Least common multiple lang yan, no? Denominator. So we have the multiples of 8 as, okay? So I have here the multiples of 8. We have 8, 16, 24, etc. Multiples of 4, we have 4, 8, 12, etc. and so on. So they're common or the same factor, I should say multiples. The lowest or the least common multiple is 8. So the LCD is 8. Okay? So the LCD of 8 and 4 is 8. You can also determine the LCD by continuous division. Okay? So ayan. So since they are both divisible by 4, Ayan, 8 divided by 4 is 2. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Then we can multiply 4 times 2 times 1. That is L for LCM. Okay? So that is still, the answer is 8. What if there is no uh, common factor between the numbers? Let's say, for example, this is 5. So there's no common factor. So you just multiply. That will be the LCM. Okay? Now, if there is common, say we have here um, 15, then by continuous division, we have 5, 3, and 1. So the LCD is 5 times 3 times 1, so that is 15. So that's the LCD. Okay? Again, you can determine the LCD by the LCM or continuous division. Okay? Now, okay, so going back to our examples, we have 1/8 plus 1/4. So our LCD is 8. Now, okay, our LCD is 8. So, remember, kinuha natin LCD para maging same yung denominator nila. So, 1/8 is 8 already yung kanyang denominator. So, walang magbabago sa 1/8. Okay, 1/4 na lang. So, 1/4, okay, think of a number to be multiplied to 4. So, 4 will become 8. The LCD. So, correct. 2. Kasi 4 times 2 is 8. So, kung ano yung minultiply mo kay denominator, yun din yung imumultiply mo kay numerator. Okay. Now, magiging 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. That's it. Do you agree that 1/4 is 2/8 or 2/8 is 1/4? Okay, so they are equivalent fraction. Okay? Now, since we have transformed the two fractions with the same denominators, then we can now add the numerators, then copy the common denominators. Simplify if possible. So this is now the final answer. So that's it. Then first get the LCD. Then transform the fraction to a fraction having the same denominators. Then add the numerators. Then simplify. So ganun lang yun. Okay, so let us have example. Okay, example number 2, we have 4/5 minus 2/3. 4/5 minus 2/3. Okay, so what is the LCD of 5 and 3? LCD of 5 and 3. Do they have the same factor? Okay, so they do not have the same factor, so just multiply to get the LCD. So that is 15. By LCM, so that is 5, 10, 15, and so on. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on. So what's the LCD? That is 15. Okay? Again, dalawang paraan para makuha yung LCD. Okay? Now, since the LCD is 15, so we will change these fractions to fraction with 15 as the denominator. So, what must be multiplied to 5? So, it will become 15. Okay, correct, 3. So, gagawin din kay numerator. Okay. So, kay 3 naman, what must be multiplied? So, the product is 15. That is 5. So, gagawin din kay numerator. Now we have the denominator as 15. Okay? So that is 15. Okay, 15. We have 12, 15, then 10. Okay? Then copy their common denominators. 12, subtract the numerator. 12 minus 10 is 2 over 15. Final answer. Okay? Okay. So, let's proceed to the next example. The next example is negative 1/6 plus 2/3. So what is the LCD of 6 and 3? 6 and 3 has common factor, which is 3. Okay, so 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So let us multiply. So the answer is 6. By the LCM, we have 6, 12, 18, and so on. Ito naman ay 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, and so on. Okay? So the LCD is the LCD is 6. The LCD is 6. Okay? This common multiple. Okay? Bigla ako na. Okay. Now, the LCD is 6. Okay? So, ito, 6 na yan. Hindi na natin siya gagalawin. So, ito na lang. So, what must be multiplied to 3? So, the answer is 6. That is 2. Multiply the denominator by 2, the numerator by 2. So, we have 1/6 plus 4 over 6. Okay, let us now copy the common denominator, then add the numerators. So that is 3 over 6. Different sign. When we add, subtract, 4 minus 1 is 3. Get the sign of the number with bigger absolute value, positive. So, this is not yet the final answer. So, if you will notice, they are both divisible by 3. So, that is 1/2. So, that is the final answer. Okay, let us proceed to the next example. That is 8 over 15 minus negative 3 over 20. Okay? Again, first make the denominators the same. So let us get the LCD of 15 and 20. 15, 20 divisible by 5, 3, 4. No common factor na. So we can now multiply 5, 3, and 4. So that is 5 times 4, 20 times 3 is 60. So 60 is the LCD. So the LCD is 60. So 8 over 15 number that must be multiplied to 15 to get 60. Okay, that is 4. Okay, 4. What about for 20? Okay, correct. That is 3 times 3. Okay, so let's make this square bracket. Okay, now let us multiply. This is 60. This is 60. Okay, 8 times 4, 32. Negative ito. We have here 9. Okay, let's put parentheses. Now, let us combine into 1. Copy their common denominator. 32 minus negative 9. Pag subtract tayo, copy, change, change. So, nagkaroon na tayo ngayon ng 41 over 60. 41 over 60. So, pwede pa ba siyang i-simplify? Okay, so final answer. Okay? That's it. Okay, let us discuss next example. And the last example, negative 5 and 1/3 plus 4 and 1/2. Again, first, let us transform this mixed number into fraction. So that is 5 times 3, 15, plus 1, 16, over the denominator 3. Don't forget the negative sign. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, over the denominator 2. So then get the LCD. Since they do not have the same factor, so just multiply. 3 times 2, that is 6. So that is our LCD. LCD is 6. So negative 16 over 3. How to make it 6 times 2. Okay, times 2. And then plus 2. How to make it 6 times 3. Okay, times 3. So the numerator. Okay. Now, so that will become over 6. So 16 times 2 is 32. That is 9 times 3 is 27. So, pwede natin siyang i-transform into 1, negative 32 plus 27. So, that is different signs. Okay, subtract the numbers. So, we will get negative 5 over 6. So, that is now the final answer. Okay. I hope everything is clear to you, my dear students. Thank you.